Hey everyone. A series of powerful winter storms are set to impact the United States over the coming days, bringing significant snowfall, ice accumulation, and even the return of severe weather, including tornadoes. These storms will create widespread disruptions across multiple regions with dangerous travel conditions, power outages, and heavy precipitation expected. In this forecast, we will break down everything you need to know about these upcoming weather events, detailing their impact and what to expect over the next 7 days. At present, a large area of moisture is streaming in from the Pacific Ocean, fueling the first of these major storms. This influx of moisture is already beginning to increase snowfall and ice accumulation across parts of the country. There are two primary regions where this moisture will be directed in the immediate term. The first is the mid-Atlantic, where heavy snow and ice will accumulate throughout the day. And the second is the Central Plains, where snow is starting to develop and will intensify as the system progresses. As this moisture continues to move, it will shift its focus from the mid-Atlantic to the Central Plains by tomorrow, setting the stage for a massive winter storm that will sweep through the Midwest and Great Lakes before eventually reaching the Northeast. Meanwhile, the West Coast and Gulf Coast remain relatively quiet for now, but that will not last long. Later this week, a significant atmospheric river event will impact the West Coast, bringing torrential rain and mountain snowfall. Additionally, severe weather, including the potential for tornadoes, is expected to return to the Southeast by tomorrow and persist into Saturday. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. The first two of the three major winter storms expected over the next week will take shape today and tomorrow. The first storm is already underway in the mid-Atlantic and the Ohio Valley with winter storm warnings issued by the National Weather Service covering parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and southern New Jersey. Additionally, winter weather advisories stretch in a narrow band from northern Arkansas all the way to New Jersey. The second winter storm, which is expected to develop on Wednesday and persist into Thursday, has already prompted winter storm warnings in Kansas and Missouri, where snowfall accumulations could reach 6 to 10 inches. Winter storm watches have been issued for portions of the Midwest and Michigan, marking the potential for heavy snowfall in areas that have seen very little winter precipitation this season. In fact, some locations, such as parts of Iowa, have recorded less snowfall than states as far south as Louisiana, which is an unusual and remarkable statistic. However, that will change dramatically in the coming days as snowfall totals increase across the region. Additionally, winter weather advisories have been issued for portions of Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle as the storm begins to take shape. The first of these winter storms is already intensifying across the lower Ohio Valley and mid-Atlantic, with heavy snow falling in Kentucky, West Virginia, southern Illinois, and Missouri. Meanwhile, significant rainfall is developing across the southern plains and into the Tennessee Valley. As we move through the midday hours, this storm is only expected to strengthen with moderate to heavy snowfall spreading across Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. These conditions will create hazardous travel conditions, making it essential to drive cautiously on affected roads. In southern Virginia and the Appalachian Mountains, freezing rain and sleet will add to the hazardous conditions, creating a potential for ice accumulation that could lead to power outages and treacherous roads. As the evening approaches, snowfall will continue, and a brief period of freezing rain is likely in parts of Maryland as warmer air pushes northward. By midnight, the storm will shift toward Long Island, New Jersey, and extreme southern New England before eventually moving offshore. However, there will be little time to recover before the next winter storm arrives. By late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, another powerful system will begin affecting the Central Plains. And 4 to 5 a.m., freezing rain and sleet will develop across Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle, while light to moderate snowfall spreads across the Central Plains and Midwest. The Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic will also experience a mix of snow, freezing rain, and sleet. As the sun rises on Wednesday, this storm will intensify significantly, particularly in Missouri and Kansas, where snowfall rates could reach 2 to 3 inches per hour, leading to rapid accumulation. A narrow band of freezing rain and sleet will stretch from Ohio back into parts of Oklahoma and southern Missouri. By midday Wednesday, snowfall will expand across the Midwest with moderate accumulations expected. Some areas may experience pockets of heavy snowfall, increasing the potential for travel disruptions. Snowfall will also extend into Pennsylvania and New Jersey by the early afternoon. By late Wednesday afternoon, snowfall will continue to spread across the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast, bringing a mix of moderate and heavy snow, freezing rain, and sleet. At the same time, severe weather will develop across the Deep South, adding another layer of concern to the forecast. As the storm progresses into the overnight hours, the heaviest snow will shift toward Canada and the Northeast before tapering off on Thursday morning. This system will leave behind widespread snowfall accumulations, particularly in the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley. Most areas will see 1 to 3 inches of snow, but the heaviest amounts, ranging from 4 to 10 inches, will be concentrated in West Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and southern New Jersey. In some locations, such as Baltimore, Maryland, snowfall could total 5 to 7 inches, while Richmond, Virginia may see 1 to 3 inches. Charlottesville, Virginia is likely to receive between 6 and 9 inches. Ice accumulation will be most severe along the Appalachian Mountains, where some locations could see up to half an inch of ice, leading to the possibility of power outages. In general, most areas will experience a glazing to a tenth of an inch of ice, which can still make roads dangerously slick. Additionally, ice accumulation from the next winter storm will impact parts of the Ohio Valley and Midwest on Wednesday. By midweek, the focus will shift to the next winter storm, which is expected to develop Wednesday into early Thursday. A large swath of 5 to 10 inches of snow is forecast from Kansas into Missouri, southeastern Iowa, northern Illinois, and Michigan. The heaviest snowfall will likely be concentrated in southern Nebraska, central Iowa, and southern Wisconsin. Northwestern Indiana is expected to receive 1 to 3 inches, with the highest totals near the Great Lakes, where up to 6 or 7 inches could fall. Ice accumulation will primarily impact the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, central and southern Missouri, and parts of the Ohio Valley. Though accumulations will be relatively modest, even a small amount of ice can make travel extremely hazardous. Beyond winter weather, developing severe weather threat will emerge on Wednesday in the Deep South, where wind shear and stability will create conditions favorable for tornadoes. While the overall risk is limited to a relatively small area, residents in southern Mississippi, southeastern Louisiana, and southern Alabama should remain weather aware, as any storms that develop ahead of the main line could produce tornadoes. This next storm is already showing signs of a much larger precipitation shield stretching from Denver all the way to Chicago, with heavy snow in southern Nebraska and eastern Kansas. It'll impact the Kansas City metro by 5:00 a.m. Wednesday. And heavy rain will spread into Dallas. This will be a much bigger storm and will continue to intensify as it moves northeast. By 1:00 p.m. on Wednesday, February 12th, we could be dealing with some icing in the St. Louis metro, heavy snow, southeastern Iowa, western Illinois, and north central Missouri. And this system will keep pushing toward Chicago and beyond. In fact, Chicago will likely see heavy snow, while Detroit may see a mix of snow and rain. Looking at the winter storm outlook for day 3, February 12th, we have an enhanced risk for a significant winter storm, particularly for Kansas City, most of Kansas, and north central Missouri. We also have a slight risk extending up into Michigan and even into the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, where mixed precipitation could cause problems. Now, let's talk about snow totals. For tomorrow's storm, expect 1 to 3 inches from Louisville to Lexington to Cincinnati, extending to Huntington and Charleston, West Virginia. While some places in West Virginia may see over 4 inches, the bigger totals will likely be in the mountains of West Virginia, as well as Delaware, the Delmarva area, and southern New Jersey. DC, Baltimore, and northern Virginia are right in the bullseye for 3 to 6 inches of snow, so be ready for quick accumulation and travel disruptions on Tuesday and into Wednesday. For the second storm, which will roll through Wednesday into Thursday, we could see over a foot of snow in north central Kansas, 8 to 10 inches in Kansas City, and 6 to 8 inches across southeastern Nebraska. Iowa could see 6 to 10 inches in northern Illinois, and southern Michigan will likely see a solid 6 to 10 inches of snow as well. Keep in mind, this forecast could shift, but it's a good starting point for planning right now. Looking further out, the storm will continue to move east, reaching Michigan and southern Ontario. While it's still too early to talk exact snow totals past Chicago, we do know that places like Detroit, Indianapolis, Cleveland, and Buffalo could be in line for some icing, so stay tuned for updates. Beyond all of this, I also want to draw your attention to the rain in the southeast. There's a lot of moisture headed this way, and we could see 4 to 8 inches of rain over the next week, leading to potential flooding, especially in the mountains of North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, southeastern Kentucky, and parts of northern Georgia and Alabama. This could turn into a significant flooding event. So if you live in flood-prone areas, make sure you're prepared. Looking even further into the week, we're expecting another atmospheric river to hit California, bringing more flooding to the Central Valley and possibly significant rainfall to Southern California. This storm will then move over into the Rockies and combine with moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, potentially bringing another big storm to the central U.S., impacting everyone east of the Rockies. This could come with another snowstorm threat and even severe weather, including the potential for strong tornadoes. There's a very rare slight risk for severe weather across eastern Texas and parts of Georgia on Saturday, February 15th. And the Storm Prediction Center is already warning about the potential for strong tornadoes. This is going to be a major focus for the coming days. So stay tuned for updates. And to wrap it up, the next winter storm after the one we're tracking for the Midwest is shaping up to be a significant one as well, with a 40% chance of a major winter storm across the Northeast and New England. Because we're about to get busy, and I'll be covering it all for you. If the storm system on Wednesday meets the criteria, I might even go live, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on. That's all for now. Folks, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.